My name is Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host, Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals. So we are the Political Orphans. As you can see, this is not my regular co-host. Obviously, it is somebody that you should know, Payman. We've recorded before. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking the place of our liberal, our show liberal. You're not a liberal. We'll put it out for the people that don't know you. But thank you for being here, man.
No, thanks for inviting me. I'm sure I have very big shoes to fill.
Very liberal shoes. You don't have enough piercings. You don't have enough. You're missing a few things in your face. But hey, it seems like there wasn't any volume on my video. But let me explain what it was. It turns out that we had a very interesting guest over the weekend, and somehow that's acceptable. I'm going to tell you what that means. That's what we're going to talk about for a big portion of the show today. But this man that you saw on the video is somebody of interest to us. At least we should be interested in who that man is. And I'm just going to show him to you again. I just didn't realize. I don't know why the volume did not play, but I'm going to just show this again. This was posted by Goldie Gamari. I don't know if you know who that woman is. She was a politician, part of the Ontario Conservative Party, and she was kicked out by Doug Ford for kind of talking about this, for talking about how there are IRGC people in Canada. We're going to talk about this, but here is, you can see the man in question is the guy in background there, so I don't know why this is lagging. It's very interesting, man. There's something weird going on with those videos, because all afternoon I was looking at those videos. I was looking for the best ones. They kept on lagging on X, but everything else was working properly. So the guy there in that type of brown robe is the man that we're going to be talking about. The guy that's right there. Now, before I get any further, I'm going to say this. This has not been confirmed by our government, obviously. Mainstream is not talking about this either. So I think we're all very surprised by this. But this man is supposed to be part of the Iranian government. You know, the government right now that's been killing people by the thousands in the street because they're protesting the Islamic regime. So supposedly that he's in that was a very important man as part of that regime, and he's in Canada. At least he was here in Canada over the weekend to attend the Al-Quds rally in Toronto. Did you hear about that?
No, but I saw a video. I think it was the same guy with the Islamic Republic of Iran flag with the Arabic letters on it.
I believe you are correct. And we're going to have more information on this. I'm going to share you a post from an American account that I follow. He's very, very well known. So let me just put that on the screen. That's a post that he shared over the weekend. I believe that was yesterday. Yeah, 11 hours ago. Actually, that was today. So this is the man in question. It turns out that the guy, you can see like the picture right here of him at the airport. Turns out that this is the Shia cleric who was filmed at the Pearson International Airport in Toronto, arriving from Iran together with his family. He's been identified as, I'm going to bastardize this name, there's no doubt about it, but he's been identified as Ajalato Leslam Morteza Taibi. And again, I'm reporting this. This has not been confirmed by mainstream media or our government, but it also stipulates, and I've seen this all over the place, that this guy recently obtained his Canadian citizenship. And if you don't know what a Shia is basically he's part of the religious, he's one of the religious leader as part of the Islamic State in Iran. So this guy was in Canada, arrived in at the Pearson Airport on the 13th, meaning Friday. And as you will see, he attended the Al-Quds rally. Sorry, it's not a protest, it's a rally in Toronto. How insane has Canada become that we literally have people that should be considered terrorists if they already are not considered terrorists, and we accept them here, and it's reported that he has a Canadian citizenship.
So so for the audience, I am Iranian. I was born in Iran, but my family is part of the liberal Iranians, and we're the ones that left. And all of the people you see in Canada and the West right now that are begging Donald Trump to bomb Iran and bomb the regime and overthrow, they're the liberals. So what possessed this guy to think that he would be safer here than Iran is beyond me.
I didn't even know you were Iranian. God, you're like the perfect guy to be on.
Yeah.
I just like you, so I invited you. Nope, I actually just like you. Oh, I love these. I love this. So yeah, he's here in Canada, like nothing's happening, and you'll see I got a bunch of videos that I want to show. He is here. You're gonna see him. Oh, this is the one I was just showing. Hold on. I believe that I'm just looking. I have a bunch of videos here that were posted of him at the protests. So we are seeing a man that is not just here on vacation. How insane is it that not only we're inviting or allowing terrorists in Canada, but they're here and they're not even hiding it. Look, like this was in Toronto. You can see the CN Tower in the background there. And he was attending the Al-Quds rally over the weekend. See, there you go.
Yes, how are you?
He's right there.
No, that might be somebody else.
Sure. Same dress, same shirt, same hat. Same guy, looks identical. Oh no, that must be that's a different dude.
What is this Al-Quds protest? I'm not from Toronto. What were they protesting?
Well, this is the thing. Al-Quds is something I'm happy that you asked. Thank you for kind of leaning into this in a question that I wanted to answer. Al-Quds is basically Al-Quds just means it's the Arabic name for Jerusalem, translating to the holy or the holy sanctuary. It is primarily used to refer as the city itself, and the Al-Quds Day or International Day is an annual protest and rally established by Iran in 1979 following the Islamic Revolution to express support for Palestinian and oppose Zionists and Israel occupation. So we are literally celebrating a regime that wants to take Israel back. You know, however you feel about Zionists, however you feel about Israel, however, if you think that they're the ones controlling the world, and there's arguments to be made from both sides, the point of the matter is, when it comes to Canada, we're not supposed to be caring about this. I don't care about this. I don't care about what's going on in the Middle East. What matters to me is what is happening right here in Canada. And the truth is, we shouldn't be allowing people like this dude, like a Shia cleric, that should be considered terrorists, here in Canada to participate in a rally that is literally asking, because let's be honest here, what do Muslims want when it comes to Israel? They want Israel back. They want to take that part of land because it is sacred to them, just like it is sacred to me as a Christian, just like it is sacred to them, as in the Jewish people. So however you feel about this whole thing, is that the type of people you want in Canada? Is that the type of protest? Oh, sorry, rally that you want in Canada?
So I ran for the People's Party, and my position is the same. I'm not with them anymore, but my position is the same as Max. Like, Canada first. This country is being ripped apart by these people like myself, but people who come here and they bring with them their rivalry with their neighbors. If you want to fight for Iran, go to Iran. I know Iranians don't like hearing that. If you want to fight for Palestine, go to Palestine. If you want to fight for Israel, go to Israel. I don't like what I'm seeing and to me, it's all manufactured. Like you have these protests on the street. I'm like, F you, man. The only protest I supported was the Freedom Convoy.
Don't say F you. If you want to say fuck you, say fuck you. It is not a show for children, buddy. So say what you have to say. Do not be worried about that. But I was talking about this a few weeks ago. There were massive protests in Toronto, Iranian and obviously Canadians, but there were hundreds of thousands of people. Like there was estimates over the 200,000, 300,000 people that showed up to some of those protests in Toronto. That's more than the population of Iranian that we have in Canada, and they're not all in Toronto. So we had more people protesting for what's happening in Iran, in the Middle East, across the world, than we had people protesting against the government during COVID, when they went full-on tyrannical, use the Emergency Act unconstitutionally and illegally against the people, froze bank accounts, hurt people in the street, brought people to court like the Tamara Lich and the Chris Barber that represented that movement.
People died in old age homes.
Oh, bro, don't even get me started about this. My grandmother got sick at the beginning when, I was sitting in my house with my 12-gauge shotgun thinking that there would be zombies everywhere, like in March 2020. I grew up watching apocalypse movies, man. I'm like, there's a virus. Oh no, zombies are coming. Nothing happened. People got low colds and they got paranoid. I went to see my grandmother in the hospital when people are wearing hazmat suits. Right at the beginning, it was like in March. All my family did not go see my grandmother. I drove hours to go see her just to make sure that she had dementia by that time, like she wasn't all there anymore. But people left their grandparents, left elderly, died on their own. And I didn't want to protest in a negative way, so I came up with the idea to do free hugs. I literally attended all the protests. I was at a convoy with my free hugs. I was giving free hugs to people. I did all the protests in Montreal, which were in the hundreds of thousands of people, and I gave free hugs. And you know how many elderly got free hugs from me? Most of the people that hugged me weren't young. They were elderly, and they kept on telling me, my family abandoned me. My family thinks they're protecting me, but yet they're leaving me alone. I'm going to die alone. I haven't seen anybody in a year or two. I don't have that human contact. And now you're just hugging. And back then I had that massive mustache, man. I could fucking roll this shit. But you're just hugging a random dude in the street that you don't know because your family won't hug you. This is the insanity that we lived during COVID. But the point I'm trying to make is that you have hundreds of thousands of people, bigger protests that showed up to support the people in Iran, as in protest what the government is doing. And I get it. It's fucking atrocious what they're doing. Yet none of them are in the streets to talk about Bill C2, C8, C9, C12, C16, C63. They weren't there when the government made me lose my career as a sales engineer because I didn't want to take fucking poison. That was no protest there, but people are ready to protest for something that's happening across the world. It blows my mind. I do not fucking understand what's happening to Canada. I don't get it, man. I don't understand Canadians anymore.
It's the intersection of two damaging things. One is immigration. So when you bring immigrants in, they have dual loyalty. They bring with them what they know. Iranians are good people, but they still bring with them their love for their country. They love Iran more than they love Canada. I'm sorry, but that's just the reality of it. The second thing, it's this urban lifestyle. It's sexier to protest human rights violations thousands of miles away. If on the left it's Palestine, on the right now it's Iran. It's sexier than to protest Bill C9, Bill C11, Bill C18, Bill C63.
You're absolutely right, but how insane is that? You know what blows my mind the most is, how do you think we get to the Iranian Islamic State? What do you think they did at the beginning? They took all your freedoms away. They took all your religious freedoms away. What's Bill C9? One of the things that it does in Bill C9, which is now going to become law by the end of the month. This is law. The stuff that's in the Bible is going to now be considered hateful. So somebody like me that just talks about the Bible, I could literally get in trouble. And Sean Fraser or Justice Minister made it clear that Bill C9 applied to online comments as well. But how do you think that happens? You get an amount of people that are establishing a revolution that literally took over a country, changed the way that it fundamentally worked, and had to censor the people in the process. What do you think is happening right here? We're seeing the beginning stages of a government controlled population. Doesn't matter that it's done through religion or it's just done through the religion of Marxism, but we're seeing the same steps repeated right here, and people are not paying attention. They're complaining about the end result of those censorships, yet they're not seeing how it's happening right here. It really, Canadians don't seem to understand that Bill C9, for example, is going to turn us into the UK. But people are like, oh, no, that can't happen here. That can't happen in Canada. People are not going to get arrested for posting on Facebook. Guess what, motherfuckers? Yes, you will. Like, what's happening? The dissonance is, I don't know how to explain it. I don't understand it.
Let me compare and contrast Iran with Canada. So where they're similar, and you're right, the Marxism thing you referenced, basically it is a religious component where government is God now, and bureaucracy is the religion. So in that respect, it's very similar to Iran. Where it differs, I feel like I'm talking into the void here. where it differs, in Iran, I asked my uncle this. I'm like, how the hell did you guys, like, nobody in my family was Muslim. And I'm like, how the hell did you guys buy into this stupid Islamic revolution? And he goes, the Muslims promised us free energy, free food, free education. Everyone's going to be rich. You'll never want for anything. And I asked him, when did you realize you were lied to? He goes, 2 years in.
And this is the thing. Your uncle is bang on, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Our government is gonna be promising us everything, yet all they want is for you to accept what's happening, what they want to happen. You know the expression, you can vote communism in, but you'll have to fight to get it out. And this is what you saw. This is what you're seeing right now in Iran. Started in fucking 1979. 1979. They're fighting it now. It's almost 50 years later. They're fighting it now. This is the reality that we're facing here. Yet it's happened throughout history. Just look at what happened in Russia. Just look at what's going on in China right now. And this is who we choose. This is who our Prime Minister thinks we should build alliances with the communist country of China, instead of creating more business, more alliances with our biggest ally, big brother, that's been protecting us for years, the United States. Like, I always think I'm living in a Black Mirror episode, or I don't remember what the older version of Black Mirror is, the Twilight Zone, where you're old enough to know the Twilight Zone is. So I feel I'm living in the Twilight Zone episode, and I'm that fucking moron on the side of the street with his sign, the world is ending, and people are just like, okay, hobo, go. But so we have a man, a Shia cleric in Canada. It's claimed that he has his Canadian citizenship now, so he's not going anywhere. At least it seems like it. And this has not been confirmed again by any of our government, and it will not be confirmed. Obviously, mainstream's not going to talk about this, and we know for a fact that our immigration department, the Immigration and Citizenship Canada, will not talk about this either.
Never.
But you know, this is where it gets problematic, because we've been hearing this. Even the Conservative Party, a party I have no respect for, have been talking about this. Like, Goldie Gamari has been talking about this for years. She got canned from the Conservative Party of Ontario for what she said. Yet, even right now, you can go to www.ourcommons.ca. There's a document that was debated in Parliament that stipulates that there are over 700 former members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or the IRGC, right now in Canada. And for those that don't know what that is, it's a military branch that was created in May 1979 during the aftermath of the Iranian Revolution. So they are considered a terrorist organization by Canada. 700 plus members are here in Canada, and people have been talking about this for years. Nothing is happening to them. From the last time I checked, there was one that had been forcibly deported. All the rest are still here. Some of them lost their status as permanent resident or immigrant. But I don't know if you know this, but in Canada, we don't forcibly deport people. We don't have a nice department. We hope people to be honest and respect our country and leave when we ask them to leave. But we don't. We trust people here. I can't even believe what the fuck I'm saying. It's just insane to me.
Buddy, if you knew the things I knew about people, how they get here from Iran, I think you'd commit suicide.
How? Well, I wouldn't commit suicide, but how? We're talking about it. So I really did not realize you were Iranian. So please, buddy, educate me.
You come to Canada on a tourist visa, and then you can upgrade it to a working visa. You can't do that with the US, or the UK. No. I studied in the UK. You have to get somebody to put hundreds of thousands of dollars or somebody to sponsor you. You can't work. Anyway, you come here, you upgrade your visa, and then you can apply for refugee status. And, they'll say, why do you want to be a refugee? Well, I'm a Christian now. If I go back, they'll kill me. Or you don't even have to say that. If I go back, they'll kill me. They don't really investigate because the orders have already come down from high above. We need to increase. We have a labor shortage, aging population, blah, blah, blah. And they just stay here. And the joke goes like, Abbas comes here from Iran, and then his friend calls him. He's like, hey, are you speaking better English? He's like, no, but my Farsi is improved because everyone's from Iran.
It's even worse now because if you look, they don't even need, they can come, as you said, they can come on a visitor visa. And as soon as they arrive here, they can apply for asylum. We have over 350,000 ongoing application for visas right now. Most of them come from India. Not a country that is war-torn, not a country that we should have any asylum seekers from. But the truth is that at the end of last year, we had over 350,000 applications that were still being processed. And our processing time right now is anywhere between 4 to 6 years because there's an appeal process that is paid 100% by Canadians that will add between 4 to 6 years of processing time for asylum seekers. And right now, people can literally show up on an airplane. There's stories of people working for an airplane company. They're fucking employees of an airplane company. They get here, they apply for asylum seeker because they know that they can stay here for at least 4 to 6 years and everything's paid by the government. They don't need to bring anything. Just bring yourself, basically. And we'll provide you all the rest. I've heard of stories on people in Canada on asylum seekers going on vacation back to India. During their stay here, they're going back to India on vacation. Like what the fuck?
There's no mechanism to trace this. Like you would think that this is 2026 and you fart and the government knows it. But go to CBSA at the border crossing and say, I was here 4 months ago. I lost a document. Give it back to me. They can't find you. They can't find you. Like their systems. I don't know what's going on if they're running on like Windows 95.
Maybe. Maybe server edition too. Server edition, it crashed all the time. So you know that that's what's going on. But you know what irritates me the most of all the bullshit we talked about, all the 700 IRGC members or plus that we know of, because I was hearing stories as I was researching earlier that some of them arrive here and they change their names, or they change their name just before arriving here. They go through other countries. So they leave Iran, they go to another Middle Eastern country, then they fly here. It's like I go to Lebanon and then I show up here in Canada. They change their names in the process, they get their paperwork, and then they come here. We have no way of knowing who they actually are, and they get recognized. There was a dude in 2021 that was recognized. He was a Tehran police chief. He was recognized in 2021 at a gym in Toronto. So there's probably an Iranian that's like, what the fuck? Guy's working out at a Toronto gym. Like, it's so funny that you almost have to laugh about it. But here is what, as Family Guy would say, this is what grinds my gears. This is the type of shit that's gonna make me fucking lose it, is this. CSIS Canada yesterday, actually, my apologies, today, 11 a.m. this morning, posted, "Today we stand against Islamophobia and all forms of hatred. Everyone deserves to live free from fear." That is the day after the Al-Quds rally in Toronto, the day after we learned that one of their Shia cleric is in Canada and supposedly has a Canadian citizenship, when we know that 700 plus members of a terrorist organization are here in Canada, and we need to stand against Islamophobia. You know what my answer to this is go fuck yourself. Are you kidding me? What about Canadians in there? Like, what about Christians? What about the people that build this fucking country? What about the 100 plus churches that have been burned since Trudeau said that there was mass graves found in Kamloops, BC? What about those guys? What about me as a Christian? What about my family on both sides that build this fucking country? What about them? Yet we need to protect Jewish people. We need to protect Muslims. We need to protect fucking terrorists in Canada. But it's okay for Christians to be hated on, that be the most hated group in Canada. And you never see this. CSIS is never going to go out, "We need to stop hate against Christians." It's okay to hate on Christians. It's absolutely insane, the country we live in right now.
You forgot to mention the land declarations. That's another.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, of course. Because this land was, what do they call it? Occupied. No, motherfuckers. It was conquered. Guess what happens throughout the world? Land are conquered and they get renamed by the people that just fucking conquered it. That's what happens throughout Canada. And the most ironic part is that we're being invaded right now through mass immigration. And because we're so bing, 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 you know, they're very smart. They came up with the idea that they call it ballots over the bullet. They will come to your country. I was just listening. I have to check what his name is, but there's a video that's going viral on Instagram right now where this Muslim guy, obviously he comes from a Muslim country, but he's a Christian, so he is from the Middle East. I shouldn't say he's a Muslim, but he's from the Middle East, and he's explaining to the host, and the video has millions of views, and all he's saying, he's explaining the Quran. He's like, you have two parts to the Quran. The first part is we have to agree, like, we're gonna work, like, we need to get along, we need to respect each other, we need to make sure that we all can live together. And then there's a second part to the Quran. When they get enough people in positions of power, they go to war with the rest of the people and they replace them. And if you don't want to convert, guess what? You're gonna have to die. And this is how Islam actually works. And that's the part that people don't want or don't like to hear. It is a political system. It is 100% political. It is about invading a country, and they call it about 10%. If they can get about 10% of the population, they will be able to place their people in positions of power enough to change the country. Look at what's going on in the UK. They're now fining regular white people that built UK, that probably their families have been there for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and they're telling them that they can no longer have their dogs because it goes against Muslim religion. And you know, I saw a post, I should have saved it. There's one thing I want more in Canada. I want less Muslims and more dogs in Canada. This is what I want.
I live in Whistler, and it's a resort town. You get a lot of people from different cultures. I don't mind if people come from across the world and they destroy my country, you know, break-ins, murders, whatever, arson. That's okay. But if you look at my dog the wrong way, like, you better get on a plane, get the fuck out of the country, man. Like you've crossed the line. I don't care what your religion says, what your culture says. Dogs have more rights than people in this country. That's how it works.
Ban Muslims and allow dogs in more places. I saw that post over the weekend and I was laughing my ass off, and that's exactly what I'm thinking. And it blows my mind that we allow this. It blows my mind that we are in a country where we are considering changing the way that we are fundamentally in order to allow people that have no respect for a culture, that are here to take advantage of the system in order to replace us. And we're like, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's get rid of all of the things that we enjoy just so that we can make them happy.
So I want to go back. Full disclosure, I don't know anything about Islam. I've never read the Quran. I want to go back to what you said about CSIS, that post they put out.
Yeah,
about Islamophobia. I have a theory that all of our institutions, one by one, they're being taken over. So like the RCMP has been taken over by the LGBTQ trans agenda, as one example. The bureaucracy has completely been taken over. The unions, the teachers' unions, the municipalities, they're all taken over. The military is the one that they're trying to take over, because militaries they're very difficult. They have that culture, these strong men. And the way they're doing it is by putting tampons in the bathrooms, and they're forcing the old people out. The one that they very easily took over, which ties into immigration, is CBSA. CBSA was a young agency. I think it was corrupted from the moment that they spun it up. And that is your front line of defense against immigration. And mm-hmm. it's fused with the executive now.
And it's everywhere you look. Everywhere you look, there's holes, there's problems. I don't see anybody in their right mind thinking that this is not, that it's is all a coincidence, that it's not orchestrated and done on purpose. Like I'm being called racist so many times. I'm being called conspiracy theorist so many times. All I have to say is check out the Century Initiative that was started by one of Mark Carney's good friends, now our ambassador to the US, which has been saying for years that he wants the population of Canada to reach 100 million people by the end of this century. 2 weeks ago, the High Chancellor, the Indian High Chancellor, the equivalent of their ambassador to Canada, is literally saying that we need more Indians in Canada because our country should have 60 million more. We're 41 million, 60 million more. That brings the Canadian population to 100 million. And then you start looking at the immigration that's been happening over the past 10 years under the new liberal government. If we continue the pace right now, you were at like 1.2, 1.5 increase every year. Do you know how long it would take for us to reach 100 million? And that's by my calculations. How much would it take? Funny enough, 74 years.
From today?
Uh-huh. If we continue the trend at 1.2 to 1.5 every year, like the increase of our population by 1.2 to 1.5, you consider the amount of kids that they have, you consider everything, it would take another 74 years in order to get to those numbers. And funny enough, 1.2 to 1.5% is not even the real numbers we've been seeing, because over the past, I think it was between 2022 and 2024, we were more like at 3.5%. But if we go to the 1.2, the conservative 1.2 to 1.5, that would mean that by the end of this century, we would have 100 million people in Canada. And if you look at the numbers, the new numbers that came out as per our birth rate in Canada, we are in the negative. If you look at Canadians that been here for more than 2 generations, as in my grandparents are Canadian, like they were born here, we produce, if I remember correctly, it was minus 1.2 to 1.5% that we lost. And if you look at the numbers from 2020 to 2024, we went from 30 million to 41 million people in Canada, all through immigration. 30% increase over the past 25 years, all over Canada through immigration. And yet I'm a conspiracy theorist, I'm a racist, I'm this and I'm that. And we're not, at least if we were bringing in the cream of the crop, the people that will make this country better. Yet, did you see the video? There's a video that's going viral on social media of a woman taking a shit in the TTC in Toronto in front of everybody, an Indian woman. And I'm sorry, man.
If it's in the TTC, it's fine. It's already a shithole.
Yeah. Well, she took it literally, but she's taking a dump right next to the seats, like literally in the middle of the day. The guy's just recording and she's taking a shit right there. But what do you think people's going to happen when you import the third world? You become the third world. And that's what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, things are getting out of control. I was thinking back to when we came to Canada. We've been here for like 40 years now, 35 years. We didn't come here to be a part of the like French civil code, the French tradition. We didn't come here to be a part of the First Nations tradition. We came here because we knew it was English common law. It was an English tradition. It was a Western nation, and we wanted to be a part of that. We didn't come here because we wanted it to be a Muslim nation. We didn't come here because it was a Middle Eastern nation. Other people have said this. Salim Mansour, same thing. He's a devout Muslim, but he came here knowing it was a Christian nation, and he liked it. But what's happened? The people themselves, the Canadian people, they voted their way into this calamity. Like they're voting their way towards suicide. They voted their way out of Christianity. They voted down the Lord's Prayer. They're voting in all of these immigrants. And when I go to them, an Iranian, natural born Iranian, I say we can't bring in this many people. They call me racist. I'm like, you're replacing yourself, man. Like I told you earlier, like I'm tired of helping people that don't want to help themselves.
And there's nothing you can do to help them. The people that don't want to understand will never be helped. It's unfortunately, this is the unfortunate part, and the average individual is not going to like what I'm going to say, but we've become, for the longest time in human history, idiots would die. That was just the way that it was. If you were too stupid, guess what? You died because people weren't there to take care of you. You had to know how to take care of yourself. Today, we take care of our idiots. We take care of the morons out there because it would be uninclusive for us to do so. It did not cater. Not only, one thing I like to say is that Canada has become an asylum and the patients are running it. Patients are running the asylum and we wonder why we're so fucked. But, sometimes it's not a bad thing that the idiots don't make it. Because now we have people coming from different countries, from foreigners, are taking advantage of those idiots. Because those idiots are allowed to vote. They're allowed to change the way the country runs without actually understanding what the hell they're doing. And we pay the price for this. So we have people. Don't think that the people that are coming here are idiots. We're the idiots. They're taking advantage of us, and we're like, oh yeah, cool, come. We'll take care of you. 1 out of 4 Canadian, 25% of Canadians are food insecure. But those same Canadians, instead of going to support our fellow Canadians, put Canadian first, we're going to invite more people in when we have a fourth of our population that is food insecure, meaning they have to choose meals. They have to skip meals in order to pay rent. 25%. The average Canadian worker is taxed at 42.3% of their salaries. Goes to taxes, federal, provincial, municipal, 42.3%. And then we have a government that's giving money to fucking Ukraine. We got a government that spent last year over $1 billion to support asylum seekers' medical treatments. Like, what the fuck is happening to Canada? And then I'm the problem for reporting it. And then we import people that should be considered terrorists if they're not considered right now. And we're like, yep, no problem, sir. Come here. Oh, go protest. Oh, no problem. Not only can you come here, but you can the next day go protest in order to, because if you read between the lines, they're literally Al-Quds. It's about taking their Palestine, their Jerusalem back. And we're like, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Absolutely. To a point where even the Liberal government leader, Doug Ford, tried to put an injunction to prevent it. Doug Ford, the most liberal dude in Canada, tried to stop that rally. The same dude that got rid of Goldie Gamari a couple of years ago has tried to put an injunction in place, and the Court of Ontario said, yeah, no, there's not enough proof. Hold on. I have what they actually said. It's hold on. I have to quote this. If I'm gonna do it justice, I should quote it. So the Ontario court denied Doug Ford's injunction, stating that there wasn't enough evidence provided to indicate that an injunction be required to preserve the peace, saying that there wasn't any evidence that Toronto police couldn't do their job.
That just makes me angry because the court ruled that this is a lawful protest. Meanwhile, the courts they bent over backwards to crush the Freedom Convoy. I mind you that the Mosley decision did go our way, but that's I think that was the one lone judge. He's like, I'm retiring, and this is pretty clear that this was tyranny. So I'll rule on the side of the rule of justice this time.
That was years later. That did not happen in the moment. In the moment, people got their bank account frozen for giving money to a freedom movement. I was in Ottawa. What mainstream media told you was all lies. There was nobody walking around with Nazi and swastika. There was one. And you know what it was? The one that they showed on TV, they never showed the other side of the sign. It was calling Trudeau a Nazi. But they never showed that part. They only showed the swastika, those are all white No, asshole. They weren't. It was a massive party. You had white people, you had black people, you had yellow people, you had brown people. If purple people existed, they would have been there. It was a massive party. There was a bunch of kids everywhere. It literally was a massive family gathering, it seemed like. There were trucks everywhere, yet they had to use the Emergency Act illegally, unconstitutionally, in order to put a stop to that. They had to freeze people's bank account. They had to arrest people that now are facing a year to a year and a half of house arrest after going through the process. Because, the process has become the punishment. If you process enough people, they will stop complaining because they don't want to be in jail or the consequences of maybe being in jail, like the 13,000 people that get arrested every year in the UK. It's the same thing. If you arrest enough people, people will stop doing what gets people arrested and they're going to comply. That's how we work. But that's not okay. But having people that are from the Iranian regime in Canada is okay. Have that dude come here and protest, that's okay. Giving that guy a Canadian citizenship, if that is indeed true, that's okay. Are you kidding me?
I think from their perspective, it's not only okay, it's a good thing because they're destabilizing. As long as
Oh
that
yes.
Muslim cleric is here, as long as he's protesting, and as long as he's getting into fights with other Israelis, with other Marxists, whatever. As this is what you always talk about, left, right. As long as there's that division, the government
Hmm.
will continue to grow. And I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, but I'm pretty sure they perfected this art of divide and conquer.
Have you ever read the book The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli?
No, but I cite it all the time.
It's a cool little book, like this one of the best books you can ever read. When was it? I think it was written in like 1400 or something like that. I know it is hundreds of years old, and the guy actually wrote how for his king, because back then you had multiple kingdoms within the country of Italy. It wasn't just one king. I think there were five or six. I don't remember exactly. But he basically explains how his king can take over the country by dividing and conquer. That is something that's been in practice for years. Same for if you read Rules by Radicals by
Solid.
Saul Alinsky. That's a mentor to Hillary Clinton. Obama had his book on his bedside table during some pictures. This is all something that is real, that is there, that they're using. They know exactly what they're doing. And the average, I don't know, what do you think? Let me ask you this. Do you think that the average Canadian is too complacent to care, too drugged up, too much alcohol, too much entertainment? Because the bread and circuses for the masses is something that Rome invented 2,000 years ago, and it clearly still works today. So what do you think is the the reason why the average Canadian either don't care, don't want to see it? What is it in your opinion? What is it? What's actually going on here?
So if anyone's from the lower mainland, like go to the any ferry station because people are parked and just start to have conversations. I'm in Horseshoe Bay. If you go to the ferry, there's a little coffee shop. You can go there and you can talk to the people. If you talk about superficial issues, like I like your hat, nice shirt. Oh, where do you work out? They're normal people. They can function in society. But if you talk to them about politics, it's almost like they're missing that gene or they were lobotomized.
Mm.
In British Columbia anyway, you look around, you have beautiful trees, you have clean air, you have a coastline, you have a snow-capped mountain. And I think it's they watch these Hollywood movies where you see these towel head Muslims shooting AKs, the terrorists. It's always in a sandy environment. Like I think Canadians they are incapable of understanding, like they can't see what's coming their way. They're missing they're missing a chromosome. There's something wrong with them.
Or they have too many.
Sure.
Either they're missing one or they have one. They have an extra chromie. Oh wow, that's
Yeah, we're gonna
that's the
get
type of shit
canceled for that one. Yeah.
that's the type of shit that gets you in trouble. Man, I really appreciate this because man, my co-host does not talk about this stuff the way I do, but luckily you were here today, and I like that you're a lot more calm than I am. We couldn't have two fucking hotheads the way I am. That wouldn't be enjoyable for the people, but it's just as you said. I don't know. I don't want to call people stupid. Like as much as sometimes I do, I don't want to insult people, but I know that Canadians are very complacent. Canadians are I don't know if they're lazy. I don't know if lazy is the best word, or they're just cowards. Like they don't want to irritate people. I really can't, I really don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I
Can I
don't know what
follow
it
up?
really is. Of course you can.
So I made two observations in the April election. One, somebody like you who's speaking the truth, but you're raising your voice, you're swearing, you're pointing at
What?
someone. Well, you're
What?
using vulgar language. You're pointing at someone. You're like, that person over there is a problem. Canadians,
Yeah.
they would rather the country fall apart, but they can say, at least I didn't say anything mean to anyone. That's what we say. That's what we mean when we say they're too nice. So
Yeah.
that's one problem. The other problem, and I didn't recognize this before, they to them a solution is spending money. It doesn't matter what
Mm.
they spend it on. Um, if you're bringing in all these foreigners and your healthcare system is taking a hit, they want to hear from their politicians, how are you going to spend more money to fix the problem? They don't want to hear, tell me what's the problem. Tell me what's the root cause. No, no, no. I don't give a shit about the root cause. I got to go watch Netflix. Tell me how you're going to fix the problem with money. I'll give you my vote. I'm going to go back to Pornhub.
I agree with you 100%. You're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely, absolutely right. I need, man, this was a long rant. I enjoyed this episode very much, man. Thanks for joining. But I got to say thank you to Lost Art 420 that gifted 5 membership. And I also wanted to take his comment. We will become the third world when Carney gets his bot majority. It will happen. He already has it, man. If you look at the numbers, he already has it with the 4 floor crossing that happened over the past few months. Chris D'Autremont, Michael Ma, what was the 2 others? Shit. Lori something. Lori Eidlaut and another guy. So November, December, January, and now March. If you look, there's 3 by-elections going on right now. Well, they're going to happen on April 13th. You have 2 that are in Toronto to replace Chrystia Freeland, to replace Bill Blair. That's leaving for another good cushy job overseas. And the third one's in Terrebonne, someplace that's literally driving distant, like minutes from where I live. And 2 out of the 3 are liberal stronghold that they've won for years, if not decades. So they're going to win. If they just need 2 out of the 3, and they're going to have 172 seats. And it's clever. I spoke about that last week, at least in one of my videos. It's very clever. You got to give credit where credit's due. Even though I think Mark Carney's evil as shit, you got to give him that he's very smart. Because one of the complaints that he's been having is that those floor crossings have not been voted for. And it's true. He will be the first prime minister in Canadian history to obtain a majority through floor crossing. But what's brilliant about his plan is that Lori Eidlaut, the 4th floor crossing over the past 4 months, did it after the announcement of the by-elections, but before the results. So guess what? When he wins those 2 liberal stronghold, that he's just going to replace the riding by another liberal, he will say out loud, I won my majority through votes. Canadian voted for this. It's very fucking smart. I haven't seen anybody else talk about this, but I guarantee you, I called it last week that this is exactly what's going to happen. He's going to brag about Canadians voted for the Liberals to get a majority without ever saying that they lost 3, because I think they're going to lose Terrebonne because they had Terrebonne. Terrebonne, they won by 1 vote. 1 vote out of 50,000 votes. 1 vote they won.
Totally legit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, after 40 plus votes were not counted because Election Canada made a mistake on the postal code of the pre-registered letters and refused to take those votes.
Whenever I'm sending out 40,000 letters, I always get the postal code wrong. It's totally normal.
Yeah, exactly. But all to say that they already have the majority. But it's clever how Mark Carney's going to use those by-elections to say we won. Yeah. It's very clever. When I was thinking about this, I think it was this week, not last week, because we're Sunday after all. I was like, that guy's fucking smart. He's evil as shit, but he is not stupid. You can't underestimate him. He is not stupid. Guys, I gotta talk about our sponsor. We have to. This episode is brought to you by Miss Cleo's Pet Treats, 100% natural, healthy dog treats made by hand right here in Canada. She is from Manitoba, and she sources all her meat from local farm in Manitoba, and she ships all over North America. Her products are fucking insane. I literally tried the products. I was giving my dog some of the apples, like dehydrated apples. I'm like, started eating the apple. It tastes just like a dehydrated apple. Her stuff is amazing. So if you know that your dog, oh man, we were talking about dogs earlier. If you do agree that we need more dogs, less Muslims, and you know that your dog deserves better, go to Cleo cookiesandtreats.ca. We have a discount code, Political Orphans. It will get you 20% off your whole order. Just look in the description below. Do you have 2 more minutes? Like 3 minutes for a video from Prairie. Do you have time?
Go ahead, and then I gotta run.
Because it's Prairie. We have to do it because
we love Prairie. Yeah.
Yep, I agree. And she sent me that earlier. For the Canadians out there, this is a video that is coming out of the UK. This is actually a real video that was released by the police in the UK. And when I saw that, I'm like, this is exactly what's coming to Canada, considering that Bill C9 will become reality by the end of the month. Probably the end of probably end of next week. But hey, this is a video brought to you by Prairie. Listen to this.
This is John. John doesn't like apples, and seeing them sold with the other fruits upsets him. This behavior seems ridiculous, but would he be any stranger like this? John hates the owner of this shop because he's black, and has become verbally abusive. Incidents like these happen more often than you might think, and more often than not are never reported. The police need to know when and where these incidents happen so they can take proper measures to prevent them in the future. It's not just the victim's responsibility. Anyone can and should take the initiative. If you observe or experience any threatening or hateful behavior, even if it isn't a crime, you should contact the police. The police are there to help you and will do whatever they can to offer support or guidance. You can even report anonymously if you prefer. Hate may always be...
Even if it is not a crime, and you can report you can report without being ever. Bill C9 allows you to be accused by someone that you will never meet in court. The accuser will never face the person that it's accusing. This is part of Bill C9 as well. So that video is insane, but that video is coming to Canada very soon. So even if it's not a crime, you should report it.
I don't know. I don't know how to respond to that in 30 seconds, but I'll say that we are already there. If you go try to open up a bank account, they will demand to know, you have to prove that your money is not from the proceeds of a crime. That is guilty until proven innocent. It's the opposite of common law. It's the opposite of the rule of law. We are already there. This is just, it's in your face, and they're just laughing at us. That's why that hurts so much with that video.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. This is exactly what's happening. But that video, how idiotic that video sounds, within the before the end of the year, because I'm telling you, Bill C9's it's out of committee. It's going to be debated this week. The bloc is aligning with the Liberals, so it's going to pass no matter what. It's going to pass one day this week. It's going to have a Senate. So by the end of the month, this will become law. You will start seeing those type of videos right here in Canada where people are going to be expected. And did you notice it was a white guy hating on black people? Because hating a bad apple at the grocery store is the same thing as smacking a Muslim woman in the street. This is just, it's the same type of behavior, right? Absolutely fucking insane. But this
Crazy.
is welcome to China. Yeah, 100%. Man, I want to thank you for being here. I know you got to go. I just have end of the show announcement to make, so I'll let you go first. But absolutely enjoyed having you. Thanks for replacing Rob. I'll definitely bring you back on because I enjoy your conversations. You calm me down, so good for you. Thank you. I appreciate
All right, thanks for having me on, and give me more warning next time. I'll shave so I don't look like I'm 75.
All good, brother. Nice
All
having
right.
you. We'll talk soon, man.
Take care.
Bye.
And goodbye to the audience.
So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this show. I had a last minute, few hours notice from Rob, got payment on. I just wanted to give you a small announcement of what's coming this week. So we have a really busy week. So on tomorrow, Monday, we're joined by the president of the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms, John Carpe, to speak about the new development of Bill C-9. On Tuesday, we're joined by Matt Alexander, a Christian teacher that was fired. Him and his wife were fired for refusing to promote LGBTQ values in their classrooms. On Wednesday, we are joined by lawyer and founder of the Natural Health Product Protection Association, Sean. Why did I not write Sean? Oh man, what an asshole! I can't fucking remember Sean. What's his last name? God damn it! Hold on, I gotta do him justice. I have him right here. Sean Buckley. Wow, I'm drawing a blank. So Sean Buckley on Wednesday is joining us. He's lawyer and founder of Natural Health Product Protection Association, and he reached out to me because they have a big win when it comes to Bill C-224. So we're going to talk about that on Wednesday. And on Thursday, we are joined by, I'm going to have to call her friends of the show because I think it's her fourth appearance in the past month and a half. CCFR's VP of Public Relations, Tracy Wilson, is coming on the show because they are getting the Supreme Court judgment on the appeal that they've put to the Supreme Court of Canada. So they will get their result or their judgment on Thursday. I believe it's 9:30, and I was able to get her to come on the show that same evening to talk about what is happening with their appeal. So on that note, guys, thank you for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. If it was your first time here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to hear from you guys. Tell me if you agree, you disagree. The whole point is to be able to have a civil conversation, to have civil discourse about the problems that Canada is facing. So let us know what you thought. And hopefully you come back. We will be there tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on YouTube, X, and all the other platforms we're on. But until then, you guys have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.